Good morning, everyone. This is Carlita Nelson, and I am very excited to be here with you guys on a busy weekend and a busy Saturday. I know everybody is busy with family events and just probably decorating for Christmas. If you haven't done that already, I have held out. Still have my pumpkins everywhere because we have a big Thanksgiving today with my family here at our home. But I know a lot of people have already had that and you've moved on to the next big holiday. And on top of that, we have month end close, and it's been an incredible, busy month in all great ways with everything that Arbonne has given us. And I know there are so many people that are shooting for big goals. So I just want you guys to know that I'm super proud of all of you. I wish you all the very, very best. And I know that you are going to do better because you have made this commitment in your life to just grow you, not just a business. And when you grow yourself, you guys, you're going to grow your business. It will follow. Everything else in your life will grow with you. And so I'm just so proud of everybody who's on here and everybody who's shooting for a big goal, and you know who you are. We're pulling for you and praying for you today and your team. So chapter 3 goes, connecting goes beyond words. And I love this chapter, you guys. It is, I'm going to tell you, it's a tough one. It's hard. It's expecting a lot out of us to be able to connect, but it's also so valuable because it's going to help us know what else we need to be doing besides just talking with our words in order for us to be able truly to connect. And you guys, the next chapter I actually got off. Thank you, Nikki Bernard. If you get to watch this video, I got off on my weeks and I was reading Connecting Always Requires Energy. And boy, does it take energy, you guys. I love this chapter. I'm so excited for next week. But you guys, everybody's tired right now. We've had a busy, crazy holiday. We've had a busy, exciting, crazy business month. We are just in that big, retail season of the year, and everyone's tired. And I was thinking, I got a phone call this morning and somebody was like, hey, I'm super close to Nation Qual. And do you think I should finish it? I know I should. What should I do? And whenever I answered that phone call, you guys, I felt like saying, hello. But you know what I did? I was like, good morning. How are you? And if that was the question that she was going to ask me, and I had said, hello, do you think she'd have felt like, man, I should push for Nation Qual today? It would be like, no, I don't feel like it. So, you don't sound like it. And what I'm thinking is right. Instead, it was like, no, you know what? I can do this, and I'm going to do this. And it's all in energy, you guys. And it's not just in what we say, it's how we say it. It's the tone, it's the inflection, it's the body language. There's so much that comes into play whenever you're messing with people's lives. And that's what we're doing whenever we are using our words and communicating, is we're doing something to people's lives, good or bad. Proverbs 18:21, the power, life and death lie in the power of the tongue. You guys, what we say is affecting life, and it's either giving life or it's giving death. I could have spoken death over that phone call this morning just with my attitude or my tone, or the lack of energy that I brought to it. Or I could speak life to it. And life, you guys, breeds life. And it takes energy. Relationships take energy. And we got to be healthy in order to have the energy to be able to pour into people and give them life whenever they're needing it from us. So we have lots of reasons to connect, you guys. And it goes beyond words. And I have here, I just wrote, you guys, this is where some people will call, and we all have the same products, we have the same company, the same home office, the same computer system. We have most of us use the same presentation for the most part, but we don't get the same results every time. And you have to ask yourself, why am I not getting results? If you're not getting results, or what is it that you're doing that is giving you results? And I will tell you, it's because some of you are connecting with all of this and the people you're sharing it with, and some of you are not so much. And that is the only difference between those who do and don't get bigger, better, faster results. And he goes through that in this chapter. He just talks about how you can watch the same reality show, have the same professors at a university, have two managers that do the same, management job at a place of work, have two parents that raise the same child together, but two people can give the other people a completely different feeling based on how well do they connect, or are they just communicating? Are you communicating with your family and your husband, wife, kids, close friends, your team? Are you just communicating, or are you connecting with them and inspiring them to want to, follow you, do life with you, and learn from you? He says, because people respond to others based not merely according to the words that they're used, but by the connection they experience with the person. So what experience are you giving people? Whenever we do our events, we talk about giving people an experience. And it's not, some people, we use every method out there, you guys, but some people truly think that you're going to draw people into your business if you give them a spa experience. And I'm not talking about spa parties in a negative way. Please hear me clearly in that. But I'm telling you, it's not the spa experience or the vital information in our health and wellness presentation that's going to make people want to follow you. It's not that experience. It's the connection that they feel with you and the ability that you have to help them do what it is they're looking to do for their life. That's what builds a powerful business. It's the connection. It's not just the experience with a product. It's the experience with you. Does that make sense, you guys? You are the key factor in your business, in your life, in every area. Your actions speak so loudly, I cannot hear your words. So it says, face-to-face communication can be broken down into three components: words, the tone of voice, and body language. What do people see us do? The tone we use can far outweigh any words we say. What they see us do and the tone we use can far outweigh any words that we are trying to communicate. He says, in situations where feelings and attitudes are communicated, what we say only accounts for 7% of what people believe. The way we say it is 38%, and what others see in us is 55%. So he says 90% of the impression we often convey has nothing to do with what we actually say. It's how we make people feel. So he says all communication has three essential components: intellectual, emotional, and volitional. That is a new word for me. I don't know if anybody else has ever used the word volitional, but I had to figure out what it meant. And thank goodness he said, in other words, we try to communicate. We must include thought, which is something we know. We know what Arbonne offers other people. Emotion, something we feel. Do you feel it? And action, which is volitional, I'm assuming, something we do. So what we do, if we fail to include any of those three things, what we know, what we feel, and what we do, there will be disconnection from people and a breakdown in communication. Something I know but do not feel, he says, my communication is dispassionate. So you guys, I want to ask you, what do you feel for Arbonne? What do you feel with this vehicle? My heart, when I say that to you guys, when I ask you that question, I'm asking myself that question, and my heart pounds inside of my chest for what I feel for Arbonne. And you guys, it's not just Arbonne. It's what Arbonne allows me to do and be, and how it allows me to walk bigger in my purpose, which is loving other people and helping empower other people to be and live all that they have been created to do and be and live. That is what Arbonne is to me. And that's why whenever I think, what is Arbonne to me? My heart pounds in my chest, because it is that to me. It's not just a health and wellness company with clean products and ingredients. That's important, and I love that. but it's not what inspires passion inside of me. It's not what causes me to do what I do. So what do you feel when you think of Arbonne? What does it make you feel? Is it any bigger to you than just some products for you and your family to use in your home? Is it any bigger for you than that? Yes, Carlita, they're clean products. That's what it is for me. That's good. I'm glad you know that. That's knowledge. That's thought. That's something you know. But if you don't have an emotion connected to that, you're missing one of those three things he says that we have to have. Do you feel passion in your heart when you think of Arbonne? Think about that, you guys, because you need to know, how passionate are you about sharing this gift with others? Because it's this for me. It's something else for all of you. I don't need it to be what it is for me. I just need to be able to be giving it to you and letting it be for you whatever you want it to be. So something I know but do not do, my communication is theoretical. You guys, you know you need to do activity, but if we don't do it, it becomes theory for you. It's just what you know you need to do. But you guys, it's like how you feel whenever you do activity versus no activity. If you do activity, you know and you feel what you're supposed to feel in this. If you know it, but you're not doing it, you feel, and he uses the word in here somewhere, hypocritical, because you know this is good. You know it's meant to be given away. It's why it was put in this industry, in this method. Petter Mort knew it needed to be shared by some people that had passion for what he had passion for and that believed what he believed, so that it could be given to the world and make a difference, not just help people make a paycheck. That's what this is. And so we can know that, but unless you're doing it, you're not going to feel it. You're going to feel more inward and focus on you and what you know you're not doing, instead of what you feel like you should be doing with this. Something I feel but do not know, my communication is unfounded. And this can be true for newer consultants, or maybe consultants that, you guys, consultants it's not from the time you sign up. It's like Dr. Tom Barrett says, it's how many hours have you logged in this business. If you don't log hours, you can feel what I'm telling you. You can feel the passion, and you can feel excited to share this gift with others and let it be that for you and whatever it needs to be for somebody else. But if you don't know and you're not in it and connected to the energy power grid that we've talked about in this book and other chapters, if you're not connected to it, you're not going to be able to have confidence to share it, because you're going out there on your own. I know a lot about Arbonne, you guys, but you know why? It's because I have stuck together with this business and the people in it that are smarter than me, that like glue. I have never disconnected or lost my, and I'm not saying this to brag or make anybody feel bad. I'm telling you it's a success tip. I have stayed connected to the power houses, the power grid that we have in Arbonne, from my leaders, my team, my sideline sisters, my upline, my home office, my events. I have stayed connected like glue to the power grid that gives me the confidence to know I may not know everything, and I don't, but I am so connected to people who do. And so are all of you. I mean, I've said from day one, I don't know the right answer to that question, but I can find out. That is what I said early on in my business as a new consultant. And I still say those words at times in my business. I don't know that answer, but I will find out. And sometimes I know enough that I can go search it out in the resources because I know where those are. Sometimes I have to go ask somebody. But either way, it doesn't mean you're not a consultant that should have confidence, whether you're 1 day old in this business or you're 10 years old in this business and you just haven't done it that many days, or you haven't stayed connected that many days. There's power in connection, and you have power. Something I feel but do not do, my communication is hypocritical. And that's where he says, it's like I feel it, but I don't do it. And that's when you feel like a hypocrite. And that, you guys, is just honestly, it's what I would call the enemy in your head keeping you from sharing a gift that will make a positive difference in this world. But we have to just control our head and go, okay, if I don't like feeling this way, what makes me not feeling this way is keeping my office shut, which is your mouth. And if I just opened my mouth and shared it and did my best and trusted that I can't say the wrong thing to the right person, then I'm going to make a difference. And I've done a good job today. Well done. And that's all we have to do to not feel like a hypocrite. We don't have to do anything more than just believe, be passionate, and not be selfish or inward focused in how we feel about us, and just give this away every chance you get, because let them decide what they're going to do with it. If it's something I do, but I do not feel, my communication is mechanical. Do you feel any of what I'm sharing with you guys? Because if not, it's going to look mechanical. And people are not going to connect to you as much as they would me, because when they're with me, I'm an energy force in a room. People feel my passion, my energy with what it is I do with my life, not just Arbonne, but with my life. So that's where you need to know, if you're not feeling it, you need to dig deeper. What is it that's making me not feel what I know I could and need to feel in order to be able to be an energy grid for people that I'm going to share this with? When components are missing, the result for John is, when he says, for me as a communicator, is exhaustion. You guys, do you ever feel like Arbonne is exhausting? I even people that are like super crazy busy, people that are pushing for big goals and doing stuff, they're in massive activity. They're physically exhausted, but Arbonne is not exhausting to them. There's a difference. Arbonne is exhausting when you are doing or missing some of these components that he just talked about. That's when Arbonne is exhausting. When you're not doing and keeping your mouth shut, when you are doing but not feeling, when you do but you don't have confidence, those are the times that Arbonne is exhausting. Arbonne is not exhausting. I'm tired now, but I'm not exhausted with Arbonne, if that makes sense. The characteristics of connection. He says, you must be the message you want to deliver. Any message you try to convey must contain a piece of you. Have you ever had to communicate someone else's vision? And this is where I'm like, okay, I create most of the tools that we have and we use. So I understand that I have that vision of what it's going to do and help other people do. And you guys, it's not just because I think so. It's because I have experience, I have success, I have failed and learned from my mistakes and gotten better on my journey. And I feel like our tools are really pretty good. But he says, and this is true for me, he says, it's hard to get excited when you're presenting someone else's ideas. Like whenever I do a training and people go, well, you know what, here's a great training I did. Here's my PowerPoint. Feel free to use it. And I'm like, okay, man, I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to use this PowerPoint. You guys, Philip's laughing because went and got to hear John Maxwell speak live one time, and he talked about how, you know, his trainings and his things are original. Even whenever he speaks from the same topic or whatever, he goes back and rewrites a training. That's me. I have to be the author of what I do in order for it to have me in it. So we all have a presentation. I'm not saying you need to go author your own presentation, because our presentation has all the key components. What I'm saying is you need to make that presentation you. You need to study it well enough. You need to know the key things, but you need to add you in it. And when you add you in it, you won't look mechanical with it. You'll look passionate about it. Whenever you share the parts of it that make you excited about what it is you're sharing. He says, if you work any kind of organization and you're not the top leader, that is exactly what you're expected to do. And you are expected to do it. I know, and I get it, and I'm sorry. But how can you do that with credibility? He says, by making it your own vision. By that, he says, you must first discover how the vision positively impacts you. How does that presentation positively impact you? What in that presentation has positively impacted you? Go through there and write that down, you guys. Do some homework with this. Don't let these just be words I'm communicating. I hope it's connecting for you. He says you must connect with it on a personal level. Once you have done that, you will be able to do more than simply relay information. You will be able to convey inspiration. Nothing can happen through you until it happens in you. And you guys, from day one, I've heard in my business and on my journey, you don't get into Arbonne until Arbonne gets into you. This is how you're going to let Arbonne in you. What has in that presentation positively affected your life? Is it in you? Can you go out there and passionately, it makes me cry. Can you go passionately share that with your world? What good has happened for you that you can go make a difference with? That presentation is just a tool to keep you on track, because if you don't say, the reason I created it is I can go on for hours about what Arbonne has done for me. And if I don't have that presentation, people are stuck with me until the next calendar day. That presentation keeps me on track, but it is me conveying what it has positively done in my life. I have a thankful heart today, you guys, sorry. He says, he's talking about when he writes books, that's what he does. And every book comes from his heart and soul. He says, I believe in it and genuinely hope it will help whoever reads it. That's what Arbonne is for me. I genuinely believe in it, and I hope it will help whoever it is that I am sharing this with. I genuinely believe what I'm sharing with all of you, and that is my heart. And why it gets so full is that I hope it will help you do something for you and others because of it. That's what he does with his writing, you guys. That's what we need to do with our Arbonne. And everything else that you have the ability to do something with. He says, and important as a message is to be heartfelt and genuine, that of course isn't enough. He says your message must also be more than just a message. It must have value, and it must deliver on the promise it offers to the audience. And he says it must have the potential to change other people's lives. That's my goal every time he writes a book and prepares to speak to an audience. You guys, do you realize that Arbonne has the ability to change other people's lives? We have that. What other vehicle do you have that you can offer your world that can possibly help change their lives? Whether it's just by using health and wellness products from the inside out, or whether it's to use this vehicle that gives people more time freedom and flexibility, or whether it's a vehicle for you to help make a difference in people's lives because your heart is wired for more than you and you want to help more people, but you only have the resources that you have don't make that much difference. What is it for you that can change other people's lives? Because it's all of that for me. That's where I came out and I was like, this has value for me to be able to go give it away to my world and make a difference in their lives if they receive it and want to do and believe what I believe. So Arbonne has the power to change other people's lives, and it has value. So you can share that with genuine, heartfelt, passion and excitement. He says what he does what I say and do must be within the context of the bigger picture of the organization's purpose, mission, and goals. And he says he always spends time tailoring what he says to the organization's goals. You guys, so let's take that down on our level. We have to tailor our presentations to the people we're sitting in front of. That's where hostess coaching comes in, pre-profiling, asking her, who is it that you're inviting? Who is it that's going to be interested in what it is I'm sharing? What do they need from me? That's the value. And I need to tailor it. I may be super passionate about health and wellness, but they may have some people coming in here that, need a break financially or a break with their time. I need to help them see the value in that and tailor my presentation to that person. Maybe I have people that, we know healthy guts give us everything else, right? We get healthy skin when we get a healthy gut. But we may have people that won't hear us if we're just like hammering health and wellness, and what they think they need is better skin. Until we connect with them, we're not going to help them see what we can do is start with their skin, but also ultimately help heal their gut so that they can have the best skin that they can have. You guys, it's all about tailoring to other people because we value them and we want to connect with them and understand them enough to be a solution to their problem. He says the connection checklist, he says integrity. Did I do my best? Expectation. Did I please my sponsor? Did I please my host? Did I please my team? He says relevance. Did I understand and relate to the audience? Value. Did I add value to people? Application. Did I give people a game plan? Did you give people some call to action steps? Did you help people know we can do this, then we can do this? And if, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to go with you and make sure that it happens. And change, did I make a difference? He says, when we decide to serve others instead of yourself, your chances of connecting with people increase dramatically. Your attitude often speaks more loudly than your words. And you guys, your attitude always speaks more loudly than your words. I always say whenever I do an attitude, belief, and commitment training, I always say, we always check our outfit and check our hair. Like right now, my hair is doing something wild back here. We check that. But did you check your attitude? That's what we forget to check before we walk out the door. And it's what's going to determine more than anything else how your day goes and what you do in your day. The 4 components of connection, he says, what people see is connecting visually. And he says we live in a visual age, and we have about the first 7 seconds to make the right impression, you guys. And that is true in person and virtual, you guys. Think about virtual. There's so many tips on how to do virtual well, because you have such a short amount of time to make a connection with people before you lose them. Because visual, you get 7 seconds of people's attention before they decide if you're worthy of being watched or followed, or do you have value. He says what you will need to pay attention to is, are you confident, comfortable, sincere, glad to be there? In that first 7 seconds, you shower your audience with subtle cues, and whether people realize it or not, they respond immediately to your facial expressions, gestures, stance, and energy. They react to your voice, the tone, and pitch. Audiences, whether 1 or 100, instinctively size up your motives and your attitude, you guys. And that is where we have to come in, and we have to be a light in the room. And some people, you're like, I'm an introvert. I don't bounce in a room and stuff. And you know what he says, you guys? He says, introverts can do this. It just takes more energy. So if you're not somebody who can bounce in a room like Tigger and get in there and bring it to life, he says you need to just put more energy in it. And that way you can help light up that room. You guys, with a live, we have those first few seconds to set the tone. And that's where you have to be like they say, don't get on there and say, hi, my name is Carlita. And don't start saying, hey, Krista. Hi, Vicki. Oh, hi, Lauren. You guys, people are out. People are out. I mean, I feel bad. You guys know me. I love you. Whenever you show up on my stuff, I want to sit there and go, hey, Catherine. Hi, Stephanie. Oh my gosh, it's so good to see you. It's not important to the people that are watching. You have to just get in there, and you have to show them energy. You have to show them the tone, the facial expressions, and your gestures of what value you're going to bring them in the first few seconds for them to go, wait a minute, I think I want to listen, instead of going click and being off. That's what we have to do in every situation, but you need to focus on it really and get good at it virtually. And when you get good at it virtually, you'll be able to bring it to the other tables in your life as well. People can perceive a lot in 7 seconds. They can decide that they do not want to hear anything a speaker has to say, or they can be struck by how much they are attracted to someone. And he says there are persons so radiant, genial, so kind, so pleasure-bearing that you instinctively feel good in their presence, that they do you good. Who's coming into the room is like bringing a lamp there. Who's coming into the room is like bringing a lamp there. Who's being a light. And then he says, if you want to increase your ability to connect with people visually, then take heart of the following advice. Eliminate personal distractions. He says, if you're well groomed, wearing the right clothing for your situation, that's a good start. And you guys, I know we come into this business for money and we don't have time, money or resources sometimes to go buy a new wardrobe. None of us ever ask you to. But what I do want to help coach you to do, because it will help you get money and fix your financial problems, is dress in a current state. Don't look at my outfit today. It's a big OU Bedlam game today, on top of big Thanksgiving. But dress in a current style. Like, make sure your style is current. It can be simple. It needs to be clean. It needs to be kept. Like, not wrinkled, not disheveled, not out of date, not worn. You guys, it doesn't take a lot of money to be kept, clean, and groomed. And we have that's the image we're giving people. It's what we sell. So we have to be able to eliminate that distraction by just being, a clean, classy, current styled person. And everybody has their own style, but it needs to have those elements in it. It's wise to eliminate distracting habits, he says. Like, do you pop your gum? You guys, those are things that are distracting for people. And it's like they can't hear what you're saying because you're popping your gum. If you do that and you don't know you do that, then make sure you don't take gum into an event. Make sure you spray and use a breath mint or something if you're worried about your breath, but don't be chomping on your gum like a cow in a presentation, because it's a distracting habit that will take people off of you and the value you have for them. And he says the best thing you can do is capture yourself on a video. He says the tape does not lie. And he says he videoed himself and watched his videos to see, where do I need to learn and grow? My sweet little daughter-in-law, she, whenever she first started doing her lives, she was like, I say too much. And you guys, you know what? She has to see that in herself, because it's a habit. She doesn't know that. And because it's just who she is. But once she watched herself, she was like, oh, that's not what I wanted to do. And she has worked to perfect that and get better at it. So it's not that you don't fall back on some of those habits, but if you're intentional, then you will get better at it. Expand your range of expression using facial expressions and expressions on your face. And you guys, I do I can't talk without my hands. As you can see, it's kind of hard for me to hold this book, and sometimes I have to lay it down so I can talk with both hands, because I'm expressing myself with these gestures. But he says, some people take pride from wearing a poker face, and he says it's hard not to crack a smile and let others know what you're thinking. He says it makes connecting nearly impossible with others if your face isn't talking with them. And you guys, a smile is what you are going to give your world. Patty, whenever we were in college, I wanted a boyfriend and I did not have a boyfriend. Patty had men lined up behind her, and she was like, try smiling. Because my mouth naturally goes in a downward position. And that's a habit I had, is that I let my mouth go down, and I didn't look friendly. I didn't look inviting or even attractive for somebody to want to come and do any kind of life with me. And so she was like, just smile. And I had to, it was energy. You know how I said introverts can be more energy lighting up a room, but it takes more energy. It takes energy for me to smile. And now I do it more naturally, you guys, because I've developed muscles to do it. There was a day whenever I used to leave GTC and my cheeks would be in a muscle spasm by the time I left, because I just wanted to purposefully go around and smile and let everyone know I truly was so glad everyone was there. But by the end of the weekend, my jaws were just fatigued, because I was having to use extra energy to do that. Now, you guys, I can smile all day long, and I have the muscle to do it, because I've increased my capacity to be a bigger light in my world, wherever I am. And I smile not just in Arbonne events more, you guys, I smile everywhere more, because I want to be that for everyone. It's who I am now. It's not just because I want to build an Arbonne business. He says when he sees his grandchildren, he goes way out of their way to show them how happy they are to see them. And when they arrive at the house, they stop. This makes me cry. Stop whatever they're doing, we're doing to let them know how delighted we are to be with them. And we communicate that not only in words, but also with smiles and hugs and kisses. And we want them to feel loved, accepted, and special every time we're with them. What if you greeted everyone in your life that way? You know, I do that for my nieces and my nephews, but what if we really greeted everyone in our life the way that you want to greet your grandchildren, or if you're not a grandparent, the person that you love the most in your life that you get excited for and show them outwardly. Maybe you're a grandchild and you do that for your grandparent. But what if you did it for everyone? What if we did that for everyone? I'm going to have close to 70 people come in my house today. I'm going to get to practice that today, you guys. I'm going to get to go be that person that goes, oh my gosh, I'm going to be whipping up my dressing. I'm going to be whipping up my mashed potatoes, those last minute things that I need to get on the table for them. But what if I just stopped what I was doing and I just showed them how excited I was for them to come and be with me that day, because I want nothing more than time with the people I love? What if we did that? Do you think it would make a connection with people in a way that they might want to do more with you? And for sure, do it with your grandkids. He says facial expressions in general, he said the bigger the audience, the more exaggerated and the facial expressions need to be. So you guys, if you're in a group presentation or like this, you guys, I'm having to probably do bigger facial presentation expressions because we're in a bigger group right now. But no matter who you are with or whom you're trying to communicate, you can improve your ability simply by smiling at people and being expressive. He said when he was in school in 3rd grade, he realized he was not a handsome guy. And he says, what am I going to do with a face like this? And then he smiled and he thought, that helps. Just smiling makes you more attractive. And you guys, can I tell you, it doesn't matter if you're a beautiful person. If you're a beautiful person, can I tell you, I always tell people you need to smile more, because if you are physically, and we are all physically beautiful, but you guys know what I'm talking about. If you are one of those people that look like you are, runway model beautiful, you got to be even more expressive with your smiles and your ability to let people know you value them. You're not just expecting them to admire you. We've got to be able to just smile and know that whether you feel like you're not very attractive or you feel like you're very attractive, either way, it's uber important for you to smile, because a smile, you guys, is just expressing an attitude that you feel good about you. And if you feel good about you, you can feel good about others. So we have to make sure that we are being cautious of this. But I will warn you, those beautiful people, you know who you are. Smile more, because if not, people will think you are, I'm going to say it, B-I-E-C, what that word. And I you know what I'm saying, but it's true. Christine Cleveland is one of the most beautiful people. And I always tell her, her gift is that she walks in a room and she loves on everyone in such a sweet, genuine way that even though people would maybe want to hate on her because she's so darn gorgeous, they can't. Because she walks around the room and all she makes people feel like is, oh my gosh, that beautiful girl came and talked to me. And it makes people feel more important and valuable because somebody like her, made them feel worthy of her time. He says, let me see where I'm at. He says also move with a sense of purpose. And he said he didn't get a job interview when him and another guy were interviewing because and then when he asked why, he said the boss or the owner said, because whenever I watched you guys walk away, he had energy, you didn't. You guys, do you exude energy? Do you let people, feel that you have something to give them? And he says he's never forgotten that experience. He says one person commands respect while another one doesn't. He says if somebody walks briskly, confidently, and alertly, he says criminals will often let them pass and look for another victim. He says because you don't have confidence. And I always say, you want to walk in a room and make people go, I have no idea what they've got, but I want it. That's the confidence you want to exude. And it will, draw people to the right people to you. It will maybe intimidate the wrong people, but that's a protection for you. Like he said, criminals will not mess with you because you look like somebody who knows what you're doing, and will handle any situation if they try to bring one to you. He says movement always conveys a clear message when someone desires to communicate. He says he moves quickly and confidently onto a stage and lets them know he's eager to speak. And he moves closer to his audience, feeling greater intimacy, and doesn't stay too static. He doesn't stand behind a podium. And the only reason I like a podium is to set myself on it so then I can go walk and be with you. Rita Davenport used to walk down into the crowd at our events and go down in with people. I have in here, bring energy to your home, event, or stage. Make it a goal. You guys, I said, we need to bring energy everywhere. Like there's no more important place to bring energy than your home. I know it's a place where we can relax and we can refuel, and you want to do that. But what is the attitude of energy in your home? Is it one of life and positivity and expectancy? Or is it, oh, life is so hard. Oh gosh, we have all of these problems and stuff. You guys, what is it that is going to be the mood of your home? What's the mood of your home? Because if you want it to be energetic, you're going to have to bring energy to it. And you guys, I will tell you, for the most part, well, it's all right. You are the thermometer for the home. Is that right? The thermostat? You are the thermostat for your home. Like it's either hot or cold. And you can heat it up, or you can make it a really cold and dreary place to have to be a part of. But what I wrote in here, you guys, is I said, you know what? And I know this may freak everybody out because it's probably one of your biggest fears, not one of your biggest goals. But what I said is every one of us should make it our goal to be a trainer on stage at GTC in the arena. You know what? If you made that your goal, you guys, do you know what you would have to do to be able to move in that direction? The energy you would have to bring, the passion, the feel, the excitement, all of that. If you said, you know what, someday, I used to watch Cecilia Stoll, you guys, and I watched her and I was like, I want to be like that someday. And I know I'm not Cecilia Stoll and Carlita Nelson, and I know I'm not, where she's at yet, but I have hit a lot of goals because I watched somebody who lit up a room, who drew people in, who attracted people to them. That's what you can do and learn and duplicate and model being you. I'm not saying be anybody but you. You have to have you in it, like he's already said. But make it a goal that you go do that and put yourself out there, because it's going to challenge you to do a lot of things if that is what you really end up hoping you get to do. And you should all want to, because you have something of value, and you will by the time you get there, to share with your world. He says when he walked around the stage, he got out where people could see him and make connection. And you guys, when you're at a party, he says he likes to not sit behind a desk when he talks with somebody. He has chairs where they can go sit side by side and face to face. And you guys, when you're at a party, I never wanted to stand in front of a crowd and do my presentation. How does that feel? I always, if possible, and could still be with everyone, I just sat in the crowd with them. I sat with people and was a part of them instead of a presenter to them. That's how I connected with them in my life, like not just in a party, but in every area of your life. But in a party, you need to be able to connect with them and not stand in front of them. He says openness removes obstacles and connection becomes easier. He says physical touch eliminates distance altogether. A handshake, a pat on the back, a hug can do a lot to promote connection. And you guys, again, like I know Jill Lyons shared, I don't hug me. And you guys, it's okay if you're not a hugger, but you can, like he said, if you're an introvert, you can do this. It's just going to take more energy. You can learn how to be a better physical connector. It's okay. You're not like invading somebody's personal space, or they're not doing something to you, to touch them on the shoulder or to, you know, pat them on the back. You guys, it feels good to have that. And if you just let yourself receive it, you will learn to love and appreciate it more. And it's something you have to be taught. I mean, it's not something you automatically have and know how to do. That's why kids that don't get it, they have these attachment disorders, because they didn't get that connection whenever they were babies. My grandson yesterday, I picked him up and he was so full of love for me. And I mean, he was just like pat, 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 and squeeze and pat, 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 like he couldn't love me enough. Like that is physical touch. And I know he loves me, but when he was doing that to me, my heart was like, oh my gosh, look how much he loves me and how he wants me to know how much he loves me. So if you're trying to connect with people, if you're trying to connect at home with your spouse, he says, turn off the television. I put turn off the phone. And if you want to go to a lunch with a friend, a colleague, a client, a teammate, pick a place that's quiet and conducive to conversation. And if you're in a small group get together, he says, pick the right room. So 2, he says, what people understand connecting intellectually. If you don't live it, it won't come out of your porn. Charlie Parker, a musician, said that. So do you live Arbonne, you guys? Because if you live it, that's what we say. Like the easiest way to fix or make any and all of this better is to live Arbonne, and you will realize how it has positively impacted you. Not just the products, but live the community, live the connection that we give you, and learn the stories. I wrote on here, he was talking about how they had an event, and they asked them to recite their at a Christmas party for with a family in London. He said to recite your favorite passage that best represented the spirit of Christmas. And he said this guy skillfully recited Psalm 23. And then they got to a lady that was asleep, an elderly aunt in the corner, and woke her up and told her what she was supposed to do. And in a moment, through a shaky voice, she started saying, "The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want." And when she finished, everyone was in tears. And they said, well, you know, what do you think about the difference in that response? And the guy that skillfully recited it, he says, I know the psalm. She knows the shepherd. You guys, it's the stories of Arbonne that connect people. It's the experience that they get that connects people. The words, the facts, the ingredients, all of that, those are just words. Those are just communication. It's all about relationship and knowing that facts tell, but stories sell. I know Petter Mork. I know his vision, his passion, his mission for all of us in this world. I don't just recite those facts and let it be like knowledge. I let it be like, do you know how cool it is that 40 years ago, when vegan wasn't even a word for most people, our founder knew he needed to create a plant-based company that honestly probably shouldn't have survived or made it because nobody cared 40 years ago, but he did. Do you guys get the difference? And we have over 2,000 ingredients that we say no to versus I know Petter Mork and his vision. Do you know Arbonne like that? Have you spent time with Petter and his videos? Have you listened to some of the stories that people share about him and his kindness? Nita Irwin can tell you stories. Martha McIntyre can tell you stories. I can tell you stories. Do you know Arbonne? Or are you just doing it? I want to carry on his legacy. I don't want it to die with me. It didn't die with him, but if I don't do what I'm supposed to do here, it will die with me. I need to do what he did so that you can get it and feel it and want to continue it long after I'm gone, just like we're doing it long after he's gone. That's what we're here to do, you guys. And if we connect, we will make a difference, just like he had the vision for us all to do. He says effective communicators are comfortable in their own skin. He says find your style. I said find your style. He says when you find yourself, you'll find your audience. Find your style, you guys. But I just said be willing to know all of it. Like we all do what we love doing. We have our favorite things, but we need to know all of it and let everyone else come in here and be their own style. Where we try to go, you know what? I'm only healthy living, or I'm only skincare, or I'm only this kind of thing. Find your style. It's fine to do what you love doing and you're best at doing it, working in your strength zone, but you have to also be able to lead others and let others have their style and not be a domineering leader saying it has to be done this way, because it doesn't. We just have to talk to 40 people a month, sell 8 ASVPs, and help 2 people see this vision and mission with us. Talk to 40, help 8, find 2. How you do it is up to you. You want to, what people feel is connecting emotionally, and the heart comes first, and the attitude, whether it's positive or negative, will fill the room. He says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Really is a true truth. And he says, people may hear your words, but they feel your attitude. And the attitude overpowers the words. The exact words that you use are far less important than the energy, intensity, and conviction with which you use them. People who are able to connect with others on emotional levels have a presence or charisma. They stand out in a crowd and other people are drawn to them. They will not always remember what you did, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And he said one day he had a friend and colleague asking, why do you think some people have charisma and others don't? And he says personality is what he thought it was. Or was his immediate response. And then the friend said, I don't think so. He says, I don't believe charisma. And we've talked about this in other books too. And you guys, this is important, because if you don't believe you have charisma, you can sit there and go, well, yeah, they can get that, but I can't. You can have charisma. And he's going to tell you how. I don't believe charisma is a function of personality. It's a function of attitude. He explained how people with charisma possess an outward focus instead of an inward one. They pay attention to other people and they desire to add value to them. And he says, I've come to realize that Dan is right. People with presence have an unselfish attitude that causes them to put others first. They possess a positive attitude that prompts them to look for and focus on what's right instead of wrong, and they possess an unshakable confidence. Here's the bottom line on charisma. You don't have to be gorgeous, a genius, or a masterful orator to possess presence and to connect with others. You just need to be positive, believe in yourself, and focus on others. Do that, and there's a good chance you will connect with others because you make it possible for others to feel what you feel, which is the essence of connecting on an emotional level. That's true whether connecting with an audience, a small group, or a one-on-one. Help them feel what you feel. You guys, charisma is just being about other people and loving other people. You can all have charisma. You can all walk in a room and make a difference. But he says, don't ignore the power of words, because what we say does have make an impact. And he says he's careful to choose words that are positive and convey confidence. Proverbs 18:21, life and death lie in the tongue. You guys, we are either speaking life or death over people. I mean, even like we were talking this past on Thanksgiving Day, and I have a beautiful little god granddaughter, and she's beautiful, but she doesn't always act beautiful. So a lot of people always say, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful, but we focus on, oh my gosh, you're so sweet, you're so smart, you're so all of this. Or my grandson, who's ornery, and I'm like, when he does something sweet, I'm like, you're so sweet, I love it when you're so sweet. And we are speaking positive. We're not saying, oh my gosh, would you quit being a little jerk or whatever, because he can be. Or if you have, let's think about kids, all the emotional struggles because of the horrible diets that we eat out there, ADHD. Instead of saying, you're out of control, say, you know what, I love your energy. You have so much energy. Let's go do this. Like, channel things in a positive way instead of being frustrated or focusing on the negative things that we see or could see in people if we weren't looking for the positive. putting it all together, he says, basically you're either going to be monotone or energetic. He says, putting all four factors, using the right words, right emotion, while being intellectually convincing and making the right visual impression. All this needs to be done with the right tone of voice, the right facial expressions, the positive body language. It sounds complicated, and it is. You guys, this is where I said at the beginning of the chapter, this is going to take work. I mean, it's going to take energy to do all of these things, but you've had some good things to think about that you can look at and go, where am I moving in the right direction with all of this? He says, the best advice I can give you for you to learn how to be yourself and the best professional, connector for themselves and their strengths is learn through trial and error and use those things to your greatest advantage. Just like, when you videotape yourself and you watch yourself. Trial, I saw a few errors. Let's correct those. Let's move forward. Learn, sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. Let's learn from things. And he says, if you haven't yet discovered and developed your style, study other communicators. And this is where I wrote, I studied Cecilia Stoll. And you guys, I used to have to chase her wherever she was in person because that was the only way we had to connect. You guys have YouTubes, you have social media, you have people that you can watch and learn and develop the things you like in those people and do it like them while you're still being you. And he just says, people need your influence, but it won't come through lip syncing those you admire. Your message must be your own. And it must be your style. Work to discover that style and to develop your skills as a connector in every kind of situation. Because what you are speaks so loudly, people can't hear what you say. So you got to be you. And he says the principle is connecting goes beyond words. We know that now. It's tone, inflection, attitude, and all the other things we just learned about. Key concept, the more you go beyond words, the greater the chance you will connect with people. Connecting one-on-one, he says visual, the eyes are the window of the soul, and it shows people your heart. Connect intellectually by asking questions and listen to understand. You guys, at events, I always ask people, like, if you could change one or two things, what would it be? Or do people know that you care enough for you to be there? So talk to people, ask questions, connect by smiling, intellectually pausing and strategically pausing and giving your audience time to think. And ask, like, whenever I share the ingredient policy, I always just say, do you believe what I believe? Like, give them a second to think about that. Do you believe it matters what ingredients go into your products? Do you believe this liver detox chart when I share it with you? Does this make sense to you like it does to me? And let them think about it for a second, because if the answer is yes, you're going to connect with them. And they're going to want to know more about you and from you, because you can help them find a solution to their problems. So I know this is taking a lot of work, you guys, but it's going to, the gift in it is going to be, you're going to be a better connector with every person in your life, not just in your business and growing a business. You're going to be growing better families, better communities, better people that are out there making a difference in their world, and the effect will be exponential whenever we learn how to connect with people and not just communicate. So I love you. I hope we connected enough for you guys to get some value out of this, and go practice it like I'm going to today, because that's what I'm going to do with my family. I'm going to go love on them in a way that they can't resist it. So love you guys. It might freak them out, but that's okay.